Representing San Benito County Board of Supervisors, Anthony Botello, Supervisor District 2, on measures A, B, and C were written and put into ballot by the county supervisors.
Okay. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm Anthony Botello, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors. First, I want to thank the San Benito County Farm Bureau and Benito Link for hosting this event and allowing the county to provide information about the tax measures A, B, and C for the June ballot. These measures are very important for providing needed services and enhance the quality of life in our community. Let me begin with Measure A. This is a vehicle abatement tax. It is a charge of $1 on registration fees for each car per year. And some commercial vehicles will be charged $2. This is a special tax and needs approval by 66%. Most counties are currently enjoying this revenue to clean up abandoned vehicles that are a nuisance and can be a public safety issue in our neighborhoods. Since 1991, the county has abated over 6,000 vehicles that have been abandoned on private and public land. At this time, vehicle abatement is a heavy burden and funded by the county's general fund. Our cost to provide this service is roughly the anticipated revenue of $50,000 to $55,000 annually. Passing this tax will free up current general fund expenditures on vehicle abatement for other important citizens' priorities, such as public safety, roads, library, and parks and recreation. Measure B is an increase of the current transient occupancy tax, or the TOT, from 8% to 12%. That will affect our out-of-county visitors. The new rate of 12% would be in line to most areas in California. Our visitors do have an impact on our public safety and roads, and that should be addressed by these revenues that would go into the general fund. Also, the Board of Supervisors has been criticized in the past for underfunding economic development, and this increase in revenue in part may address this issue in the future. The proposed increase to 12% for the current lodging facilities will increase county revenue between $50,000 to $55,000 above the current $100,000. The county does not believe the increase will have an adverse impact in lodging. Raising this rate now can be a real positive to the entire county, as there are plans for additional commercial development along the 101 corridor and elsewhere. Measure C, which taxes the cannabis industry, is clearly the most complicated and detailed tax measure that the county is putting forward this June. I encourage everyone to read this measure, as I will not have time this evening to go into specifics. Basically, the cannabis business activities tax is intended to offset the impacts of the cannabis businesses in the county. If cannabis activities are allowed, there will be impacts on code enforcement, law enforcement, healthcare, and education, which are operated out of the county's general fund. There are important points I do want to make. First, the tax applies only to the unincorporated areas of the county and is a general tax. Just a majority needs to pass this tax. Second, the tax rate is not a fixed tax, but a range of flexibility, which will be set by ordinance by the Board of Supervisors, which will be formulated and approved for commercial purposes should the industry be approved. This does not allow cannabis activities, just the tax to be collected once the activities ordinance is passed by the board. The possible revenue, once allowed though, could be substantial. If 25 acres were approved for production in the county, which was the total amortization acreage for production last year, for example, at the lowest tax rate within the measure, would generate an estimated $3.3 million. If the measure fails, it is doubtful the board will move forward with a growing or manufacturing ordinance. A taxing authority needs to be approved by the voters first. In closing, keep in mind that San Benito County has one of the lowest tax returns on property tax dollars in the state because Proposition 13. Our neighboring counties receive more than twice the amount with their tax dollars based on assessed values to operate general government. I am proud of this county to what has been we've been able to accomplish in way of services. And it's done by a very dedicated and committed group of public servants. And with the lack of revenue even. But we do have challenges. Our roads are in a crisis. There is a definite need for more public safety dollars and improvement to our parks. And this money would also help in hiring competent staff in key positions and retain them with competitive salaries and benefits. These three tax measures will not solve our shortfall or problems completely, but will contribute to a better quality of services that we all expect from local government. If anyone has any questions on these three measures, please feel free to give me a call at 831-801-8246. And we encourage everybody to go out, do their research on these three measures, and vote. Thank you very much. Do I have questions?
Thank you, Anthony. At this point, in regards to Measure C, I'd like to call up Victor Gomez and Jack Kirk.